Hey everyone, welcome to On the Rocks. I'm your trail guide, Claudia Collins, and I'm taking you along for my adventures as I check hikes, waterfalls, and other outdoor activities off of my Arizona bucket list. Today we're hiking Wave Cave Trail in Gold Canyon. Wave Cave Trail is 3 miles long with 869 feet of elevation gain, and it's rated difficult. So I don't know too much about Wave Cave other than the fact that it looks like a wave at the end, but so far I'm impressed because we're near Peralta Trail, which turned out to be one of my favorites, so I think it's going to be very beautiful. I had to scrap my initial plan of hiking Flatiron because of the rainy forecast, but I knew I wanted the type of scenery that you get in the Superstitions, so I opted for this hike instead. So good to be out again. It had been a while since I'd gone on a hike, so this ended up being a much needed warm-up anyways. We were trying to figure out why this was rated hard, and I think I figured it out. So we're going about halfway up that peak, so it's just gonna be all of that 800 feet of elevation. It's just gonna happen all at once. So it's a breeze for now, and then we'll get the workout in. The first mile of this hike was exactly that, a breeze. We hiked on this very wide, flat trail for quite a while before we reached the base of the mountain, and those white arrows ended up coming in handy later on. The wide trail also meant we got some very wide, vast views. At first glance, this looks like it's a dead end and it's meant to keep us out. We're supposed to go through it. It's meant to keep cows out, I guess. Most of the trails in Gold Canyon are gated off like this to keep cattle out, so don't be alarmed if you come across a gate like this. Keep on trekking, which is exactly what we did. As soon as we passed through the gate, the trail began to narrow. Because of this, we had to watch our step a little bit, but I can tell the trail was going to get really, really fun very quickly. I mean, just look around. Yeah. So as you can see, we're elevating a lot really quickly, so I think our theory that we'd be just climbing our way to the top towards the end was correct. At this point, the sky began to clear, just in time for the hike to get steeper, so I warmed up pretty fast. Now here you can kind of see the cave off in the distance right over there, so I knew we were getting really close, but it was going to take a little more climbing. Definitely no clear way to go, but we know our destination is right up there. Scrambling became more and more necessary, and eventually it seemed like we weren't on a path at all, until we found those white arrows again. Now we were right back on track for the final push of the hike. There were a lot of people that we noticed taking breaks to catch their breath. I definitely advise going at whatever pace feels best for you. Just a few more steps. Personally, I love pushing through it because it makes the feeling of getting to the peak even more relieving and rewarding. Speaking of our final destination, we made it to the cave. It's really cool in here temperature-wise. Nice for a little break after that climb. And just, the views are awesome. It's great. The views were fantastic, but similarly to Devil's Bridge in Sedona, there were tons of people already at the top waiting for an epic photo op, myself included. Remember, it is called Wave Cave for a reason. Can you see why? The photos really did turn out awesome because you'll just appear as a silhouette on top or below the wave with the beautiful views of the Superstition Wilderness in your background. After taking photos, Mia decided it was her time to shine, so she showed off her speed to all the hikers in the cave. After some playtime, it was time to head back down the trail. The whole hike took us about just under 2 hours, and I figured out why it's rated difficult. It's definitely because of the combination of bouldering and incline that happens all in the last stretch, but honestly, the cave is worth it, and if you can power through it, it'll be a great time. I love scrambling, so that was right up my alley, but I think it is Claudia, Mia, and On the Rocks approved. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on The Rocks.